Hi, I'm Meagan Johnson, and this is another episode of Young Entrepreneurs, Profit versus Pitfalls. So I am super duper excited about the couple that we're about to talk to because it is a trifecta for me. A, it's a couple. I love talking to couples that are in business together because not only is it a partnership in business, it's a partnership in life. So we're going to hear about that. Two, their products, their company stems from a love of elephants. And you know me, I love all animals. And three, I've been using their products. I've been using their products for over a year. Every morning I have an intimate moment in my shower with their products. I didn't even know this, that they're young entrepreneurs. So I'm really excited to introduce Naomi Cadena. Naomi, did I say that last name right?
You did.
Awesome. And Morsy. They are the founders, the presidents, and the people in charge of the Royal Elephant Hair Company. Did I get that right?
Right.
Awesome. So tell me, I understand by looking at your website that your business stems from a trip to India and working with elephants?
Yes, that's right. So we went to India for about a month, and we went there to volunteer at an elephant sanctuary. And while we were there, although we had a great time with the elephants and with the people involved, we felt like it wasn't really a sanctuary because unfortunately, the elephants looked very distressed. They were kind of swaying. They were chained up. Oh. And we just like, this really wasn't, what we had envisioned to be a sanctuary, right? Mm-hmm. You always see these stories and you hear these different things that people go to from America or from the West, and they go to India or Thailand or wherever, and they try to do their best for what means something to them. And we've always had a great fond of wildlife, in particular animals, the elephants, the both of us. And so when we went, we were excited, but we didn't find what we hoped to. And so that wasn't what stemmed the shampoo and conditioner line, but we eventually were able to fuse the two and say, all right, well, we want to be able to give back to wildlife preservation and really creating a positive impact for these different forms of these different types of animals, and so yeah, that was kind of where we sort of got our motivation.
And that's where the name, I assume, comes from.
Yeah, because all animals should be treated like royalty.
I like that.
How we see it, especially the way that we saw those elephants being treated, they were really, it was really sort of distressing.
What I thought was interesting, what I was reading up on your company, is that it really wasn't, as you said, a sanctuary, but more of an attraction to animals being used as an attraction to attract people. Was that correct?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So I'm always intrigued when people start a product line. How do you know what to do? Like, how did you know where to go and what to do to create this line of hair products?
I would say it kind of started from kind of a culmination of both of our backgrounds. I have been in the hair industry as a hairdresser for 17 years. Mona grew up in the cosmetic manufacturing side of the industry. Okay. And so when we met, we talked years before we even started to put anything into fruition, just about creating something that kind of blended both of our backgrounds, both of our areas of expertise, our passions. So that's kind of how it came from, two separate backgrounds to that. And then combining with our trip to India, it was a way for us to say, okay, how can we do what we want and be able to still give back and to make a difference? And I also have a background in sustainability, so it was just really important to make sure that whatever we did was friendly for the planet, friendly for wildlife, especially because we're both animal lovers, like she said. But and then just kind of there was a gap in the market, I would say, that I noticed from being in the hair industry. There's tons of products out there, but I feel like there just wasn't something that truly gave back. And actually, we started our first component of the shampoo line. The reason we first started it was we wanted to make something specifically for wigs and extensions too, but there's just been a gap in the market for a wig line. And so we created that first and loved it, and then thought, oh, this is fabulous. We have to make one for natural hair. So we did that, and that was just kind of how that all came to be with blending both of our backgrounds.
Oh, that's interesting. So you actually, the first product you made was for wigs. Oh, how interesting. And what made you, that's so insightful, because I wouldn't even think wigs would use a different type of shampoo.
I mean, it's one of my specialties at the salon. But it does. You need something that's specifically formulated, that doesn't have too many oils, because if it's a hand-tied wig, the oils can make the wig come untied. You need a perfect pH balance. You need a mild detergent, without giving away all our secrets. But it is something that should be treated differently, because it doesn't get the natural nutrients and oils from your scalp. So, ensures the longevity of the pieces. That was really important. And then we just realized how beautifully balanced the shampoo line was, and that's why we decided to take it into a similar formula, but for natural hair.
Well, as I said, I've been using your products for over a year, and I love them, but I knew they were really good when my husband, who has been the most loyal Paul Mitchell user forever, he switched over. He saw the bottle on my shelf in the shower, and he said, "What's this thing with the elephant on it?" And so he was out of his Paul Mitchell, and he never went back. So I'm assuming you obviously were a couple before starting a business together. How has that I'm assuming that has some unique challenges?
I wouldn't say so much it's been a challenge, actually. I think that it's, being able to have our time to talk about because really the goal of us having a company really sort of ties into what we want as a couple. We want to be able to have the freedom to not have like that 9-to-5 job, and that really helps the both of us. And so, I think we found that it's really been refreshing to be able to work together.
And it's fun too, I would say, because we both bring something so different from our backgrounds to the table. It's fun. I love to see the way her mind works.
Yes, and I don't think I'd be able to do this without her. So I would have needed her expertise anyway. And
and vice versa.
Yeah. So.
Was there anything when the two of you decided to move forward with this business venture? Was there anything unexpected that happened? Both of you went, "Ugh, we didn't see that. We didn't expect that to happen."
I think for me, I would have to say that because I'm not in the I don't do hair for a living, so I'm not on that side of things. When we were getting samples made, I think I was just very surprised as to how picky, and I don't want to say picky, but how determined Naomi was to get the best product. I would have to say we went through 20 different.
No, in the initial, we went through about 1,500 iterations of the first,
formulation. Sure, yeah. And so
did you say 1,500?
It was just we were just back and forth.
Wow. And so what would you do? Would you try them out once you received a sample?
Years of trial and error on different clients, my coworkers' clients, that kind of thing. Because I knew it had to be obviously up to my standards, but since I'm in a professional world of hairdressers, up to all of my peers, my professional peers, standards as well, as well as just to your average customer who doesn't know anything about hair. But I wanted to make sure that the product that we put out, passed all of everyone's challenges. Yeah,
exactly. And so that went from feel to smell to how it left the hair feeling. Everything you can think
and
of.
all hair types too. I think
Exactly,
just Mona and myself, normally we need 3 different bottles of shampoo in our shower because she's got such
Yeah, so you can tell our hair is very different. I have very thick curly hair, and she doesn't. Shampoo and conditioner,
Yeah.
And I think about this when I hear about entrepreneurs like yourselves. How did you decide, for example, on the packaging? Did you hire someone to help you? Did you already have a design in mind?
We did end up hiring a professional to do kind of our logo, and we knew we wanted it to be made of recycled plastic bottles. Like I said, sustainability was really important to both of us. Mm-hmm. And we are working towards, we want to be a net zero company one day. That's very important to us, and be able to use a plastic alternative. But yeah, we just wanted to make sure, we wanted kind of a sleek, sexy, gender neutral design, I think, because that's just how, we are kind of Mona brings more of an androgynous component, and I bring, a little more of an artistic component. And there's just a lot of diversity in us as a couple, and we wanted our brand to represent that as well.
Yeah, exactly. And it was also, I think, the color, the fact that it was black, and for me, again, I'm not really looking at shampoos and conditioners all day, But from what I do see whenever I go into see Naomi's salon or anything else, I don't see I haven't seen a lot of black. I see some, but for me, I think it was like she said, the more gender neutral. And then the design, we had a little bit of an idea, but then we, like she said, we did have someone help us go. And
so you got the design, the packaging, and I like that I love the fact that on the bottle it says it's made from recycled plastic. Was that tricky to get a bottle that had been made from recycled plastic?
That is really tricky. There are some available, there's more cost involved, and I would say a little bit fewer size and shape and color selections. But we didn't want something too abstract. I feel like, but it was definitely important that it was made of recycled plastic. That was like a absolute like a must-have kind of a option. Yeah,
and it wasn't. Because like she mentioned, I come from the manufacturing side. So I grew up kind of around these different bottles and things like that. And so I knew of some companies that I can ask for their options and what they had. And so luckily they did have a black bottle that we were able to get. And like she mentioned, of course, eventually we'd love to be the net zero 100%. But I also noticed, I guess, going back to your original question of difficulties, I noticed that if you want to sort of be that sustainable and recyclable and really pure type company, it's very expensive, unfortunately. So, it's like there's more cost to having those bottles and the caps and the labels and everything else, and then, of course, your packaging. And so eventually we really do hope to get to that. And we're doing the best that we can right now to not leave our footprint, while we're trying to also do something good. So.
And so when you've decided, you both of you decided on the packaging, you decided on the product, you found the right formula, then what happens?
So we decided then, okay, let's figure out which charitable organizations we want to send back to. So a portion of our proceeds goes back to orphaned elephants and other wildlife too. We actually have like a rhino that we foster and a giraffe. We have a couple other animals, but we're mostly we foster elephants just because we love them. They're such intelligent, majestic beings. So we kind of just had to tie in, okay, what charities are we going to give back to that we know we can vouch for and we know are legit and not just there for tourist exploitation. And so then we said, okay, let's culminate this. And then actually with we had been working on it for quite a few years before the pandemic, but the pandemic just kind of launched us into like, okay, let's we have some downtime, let's hyper focus and get this out, because it was always kind of something that we were stirring up on the sidelines, but it allowed us to kind of hyper focus our attention for that. So then we just got it to manufacture, and they fill and print the bottles and do all that, and then we've had a little challenge getting some marketing. I don't think initially we realized how expensive that can be as a component of a business, but we're working towards it every day.
And so what does marketing look like? Because that's an interesting, I never thought about how the products at a hair salon, how those, who decides what shampoos are being used? So how does marketing look, what does marketing look like for a product like yours?
So it's just a matter of getting it into different various like retailers and wholesalers. So, beauty supplies, we're in quite a few boutiques, actually around the country, not just Arizona. Of course, online platforms, our website, and
social media.
Yeah, social media and that kind of thing. So it's just a kind of a component. There's a lot of different ways to go about it, but majority of the population does use shampoo and conditioner, and so I feel like it's our product is applicable to most households.
Yeah. And when you came back from India, you decided you're going to start this venture. I'm assuming you told your family and friends about it?
Yes.
And what were some of the reactions?
I think, well, the most part, of course, they were supportive and really positive. I think considering Naomi has been doing hair for so long, I think the majority of everybody was like, yeah, that makes sense, because she has She has been doing hair, and she knows what, like she mentioned, what the industry needs. And so everything, it was really, really positive, and they were just excited for us.
Yeah, they were.
You didn't have any negative people?
No, we try to not have them around.
In general.
Yeah, we try to just chuck up the deuce whenever we can and say, all right, get out of here.
I think that's a good attitude. So you both mentioned that you were working, I call it your daytime job. You're still working your daytime job. What is your vision for this company? Do you see it as your full-time venture, or what do you see as the future?
Absolutely, I think we do, both of us. It's something that we both are so passionate about that I would love to be able to have the freedom to just focus on this, because I really do feel like the beauty industry, can do more harm than good in a lot of ways to our environment. So I would love to see, people replacing their current shampoos for something that actually makes a difference and gives back and is friendlier for our planet. So it would make our hearts happy in that regard. As well as just give us the freedom to enjoy this, because it's something we both have fun doing.
Yeah, same. And I really think that we've talked about venturing into different products as well, and just growing our line. And so we hope to be able to do that and kind of provide that one-stop shop for what the majority of people need, for their daily lives, as far as like lotions and body washes and things like that. And so that's really eventually what we would love to be able to do, and then have our company, our sustainable company, sustain us. Kind of the goal.
Your sustainable company sustain you. I like that. And I've asked other young entrepreneurs this who are thinking about leaving their daytime job to take their entrepreneurial venture full time. And also those who have moved on to taking on, this is their full-time job. What has to happen though? And the reason I ask is I think other young entrepreneurs struggle with knowing, when do I leave the security of my full-time job and take this on 100%? So for the two of you, what has to happen in your company so that you say, all right, we're gonna 100%, this is what we're gonna do. It's gonna sustain us.
I would say that it is sort of a financial thing at this time. So, where we are, we're getting some traction and stuff, but really when we're at a time where we can say, okay, this is going to be it, and we can, kind of leave our full-time jobs, is when the company itself is at a point where we can live from what it's bringing in and not just pay for it. In other words, like pay to get more bottles and get more shampoo and get more conditioner and get things to sort of like renew what we have depleted from sales. But it really is just a matter of being able to say, okay, well, we're at a place now where the company has done so well that we can live from it humbly, nothing too crazy, but we're just not at that point right now, because we're brand new, and many people don't know about us. And of course, the pandemic, and people are kind of recovering from that. And so we just sort of, as are we. So we're just, but yeah, once we're at that place where we feel like we can pay our bills and do the things that we need to do to live on this earth, then we'll feel good enough to quit.
What was it like that when you first you put all this effort into getting the product right, the packaging? What was it like when you saw it on the shelves at a salon for the first time?
Oh my gosh, I was very emotional. I think
yeah,
was too.
It was amazing.
It's just when you see, like, I remember the day even the first bottles arrived in the mail in a box, complete, filled, and that. I was ecstatic. I couldn't believe that this was actually here and tangible. And even further, when we first got into our first salon, our second salon, our first boutique, our second boutique, and we've started growing, gradually, and then we'll have people call and say, hey, I was down, at the store today and I saw your stuff. It just does something in your heart to realize that, like, all of your hard work wasn't for nothing.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, Mona, I interrupted you. What were you saying, Mona?
I was just going to agree with her. Just the fact that you're able to talk about something for so long and have all of these ideas, and then to be able to see it tangible, as she said, is really, really amazing.
And I love the product so much, and I'm so glad that you put in that effort and put it out there. I think another question I want to ask is, because I think other young entrepreneurs struggle with this, is so how did you decide a price point?
So because I've been in the industry, and we definitely are considered a luxury line. I mean, the ingredients are just absolutely amazing. Like when I said, I was super picky with what went into it and what our final product was. I did some research as to what other luxury lines are out there, what other ingredients are in those luxury lines, so that I know that we're up to par. And we actually ended up with something that I feel is above a lot of the other competitors in our opinion, because we source everything that we can, sustainably. We use, local companies for everything. We do a lot of, female-led businesses, like from our, web designer to our graphic designer to, our photographer for the products. All of that is other female entrepreneurs, because it's important to us. Mm-hmm. And so we just kind of, incorporated all those things kind of into the pricing. We had to realize, like, okay, if we want to be able to donate a portion, so it goes, straight from the sale and bypasses us right to the wildlife foundations. What price point do we have to set it at? And so I feel like we really did fair. And of course, we're not profit hogs. We're not in this for that. We're in this to make a difference and make a living as well, but make a difference in the beauty industry and on the planet.
I just think that's terrific. What advice would you give other young entrepreneurs?
I would say just to go for it. There's that famous idea that if you just don't do it, then you'll regret not having done it. Because even if you fail, right, you at least can say, well, I tried. So that was definitely what drove us. And if you have a dream, whatever that might be, whether it's having a business or just making a name for yourself, it's really important that you do that, because it really will mean more to you. Like, as this company will always mean more to us, even though we love the fact that you, your husband, and other consumers are using the products. It just means so much to us that we're able to see that. And there's just a special feeling that you have with that, and so that's something that you can't replace. And I would encourage anybody, any entrepreneur to just do that, to just go for it.
Yeah, I would also say too, just don't give up, because in the process, you're going to hear so many no's, and you're going to face challenges, and you're going to have expenses, some that, are unforeseen, I'm sure. Mm-hmm. But if you're passionate about it, just keep going.
Oh, that's terrific. All right, we're coming to the point where I call it the shameless business plug. Where can people find your products? Where can they get in touch with you? What's the best way to find you?
So we're on Instagram at The Royal Elephant Co. Also, our website is theroyalelephantco.com. So those are probably the two places. If you want to reach out to us, more than welcome to send us a message on Instagram, and we're always on there. And then, of course, you can send us an email from our website as well. We have Facebook and Twitter, all the same handle. Yeah. So in any of the social media platforms.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it's wonderful. Well, Naomi, Mona, thank you so much for spending time with me. I really was so excited to talk to you because, again, I love your product and I love what you're doing and making a difference for all animals, that animals need to be treated like royalty. I'm going to say that probably several times already today. All right, so this is Meagan Johnson with Profit versus Pitfalls, Young Entrepreneurs. We were speaking with Naomi and Mona about their company and their wonderful things they're doing for all the animals out there. All right, look forward to seeing everybody real soon. Thank you.